We don't need the red, right?
No. Here with Giles Penfold. We've just had a month together in Montenegro. He's about to take a bus down to Albania and then boat over to Italy and get to Italy for less than 100 euros. So for all the budget travellers out there, that's a dream come true. Yeah. Would love that journey. But the big outcome that I've had from this time here with Giles that I'd like to share with you is inspiration and skills and getting started with running further than I have before. You're saying that running 100 kilometres is nowhere near, in 24 hours, is nowhere near as much of a challenge as people make it out to be.
Yeah, 100%.
Can you justify that statement?
Oh, I mean, you see the people that sign up and complete 100-kilometre races, like they're far from athletic. So it's time on feet, essentially. Like, there's a big misconception that to run 100 kilometres, you need to be running 100% of that 100 kilometres. And it's just not true. Like, time on feet, like you can be walking for an hour, running for an hour. And if you do that consistently, like you can easily do it. It's people have this thing of like putting ultra runners on a pedestal. And I think I'm kind of here to break that pedestal and like make it a bit more accessible and understandable for people to wrap their heads around.
For those who are like, but why would you even want to? Was there a time where you thought like that about long distance running, where it's like, well, why would you want to do that? You come from soccer background, you played tennis.
No, of course. It's like there's the typical athletic perspective of like, oh, it'll fuck your joints up. Like it's short range, just like smashes your hip flexors, smashes your feet. Like, what's the benefit? And I've also, like, it crosses my mind all the time. Like, is what I'm doing good for my body in the long term? That's something that like my parents used to drill into me. Like, stop running. You're going to be that old dude in a wheelchair that can't move. And it's like, guys, you got no idea what you're talking about. You're living in the 30, 40 years ago when people had no idea how to recover, like how to treat their bodies properly.
Are you seeing any deterioration? You've run over 100 kilometres 7 times now. You said,
No.
Is there any sign that you're wearing yourself out?
No, if anything, I'm getting stronger. And I'm starting to think that, I mean, I put a lot of time into like recovering properly, into like eating well, sleeping well. A lot of people don't do that, obviously, and like they'll just sign up for 100 kilometers, do it, and then expect to, be able to run a few days later or a week later. And like, you can't do that if you don't have like the fundamentals locked in. So that's like, it's a holistic approach, I think, as well, that needs to be taken into consideration. It's not like just the running component. It's kind of everything.
Yeah. Being as healthy as you can be is going to mean that your body will adapt to it. You won't wear yourself out.
Yeah, exactly. You're in it for the long term as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how let's just say that there is someone else out there. I've put it forward. I want to. The plan is to run 100 kilometers this year for myself in 24 hours. As you say, it doesn't have to be all at top speed, but yeah, the plan is to travel 100 kilometers by foot in under 24 hours. And maybe someone else is thinking, yeah, that'd be fun. I wonder if I can do it.
Yeah.
What's it going to take?
What's it going to take? So first and foremost, you need to be like properly invested in the process. I think like you need to be in it mentally speaking. You don't need to train nearly as much as you think. Like, sure, Keegan's a bit of an anomaly because like he's like you're an athlete. Like you've got like this crazy athletic background. So you don't need to be as specific and intentional perhaps with like your running stuff. Like we were briefly talking about this morning. So for a lot of people, like, I don't know, a general rule of thumb would be to begin with like 3 runs a week, 2 lifting sessions a week. The lifting component is also really important. It's like a lot of people look at me and go, what the fuck? Like what's up with that? Like, you look like a sprinter, not a long distance runner. And it's like, yeah, I'm kind of an outlier, but like I'm definitely not fast by any means, but like I can hold my own. Like I can be in the mountains for 24 hours plus and recover within like 2 hours. So yeah, to answer your question, baseline is like 3 to 4 runs a week, 2 lifts a week, and then building on top of that, progressively overloading that over 6 to 12 months to be in a place where you can confidently travel 100k. Yeah.
What kind of let's say those 3 weeks, let's say a month or a few weeks out from when you're going to have a go at the 100Ks, what would you want that week to look like for you to be like, I think that person might be going to make it? So
which week are you talking about?
3 days of training, what would those 3 days look like? If you're doing 3 runs a week, say a decent distance out from the actual the big day that you're going to recover from. Well, what might a week look like of like, if you can complete this week with no pain and things are looking good, you get your 2 strength sessions, you get these 3 runs. And I'm putting you on the spot, but
it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, baseline is easy, medium, hard. So 1 run is going to be super easy. Zone 2, nose breathing, like.
What kind of distance would you want to see on that run?
Yeah, so a 30, 40k leaves you in a good spot. There's like a big misconception, I think, as well, that like you need to have done like 70 to 80% of the distance of the big boy distance in one go, and that's just absolute garbage. So 40k would keep you in good stead, I think.
That would be aiming for relatively unbroken, like run. We were talking about that at dinner the other day. Like if you could run without hardly stopping.
If you can prioritize running, if you could get 80% of your running in that 40Ks, you're in a good spot. And it also needs to be, like, the terrain also needs to be taken into consideration. Like, you need to know the 100-kilometer route you're going to be doing. If there's 7k of vert, then it's a whole different game to if it's on flat terrain. Because, obviously you're going to be spending time on feet. You're going to be smashing your quads on the downhill. Like, there's smaller things to understand from that as well, and implement into the training. Yeah.
This would be 5k of vert because it's a 1 kilometer track, 50 meters vert. Is that how it would work, or if you were going to run that for 100 kilometers?
Yeah, that's how it would work. Yeah,
gotcha. That's pretty tough if it was going to be 5 or 7k.
Like
this thing would be tough to run for 50, 100 laps.
500, yeah.
Because 50 meters times 100 laps would be 100 kilometers.
Yeah.
50 times 100, 5,000. So 5k's of vert here.
Yeah.
So what might the other 2 look like if that's the easy day?
Yeah, so
what else would you want to be
something
able to do?
like, I mean, look, that's the most important in terms of metric.
Specific.
Exactly. It carries over well. The other ones are like interval based, like you'd want some hill work in there as well. So intervals to work on your VO2 max, to know that you can tackle hills confidently as well.
What would that look like here? You know all the hills now.
Oh, I mean, doing like, if we were to take this track, like if you're trying to do 1k, 1 loop as fast as you physically can, and then follow it up with 5 minutes rest. Do that times 5, times 6 times, and you got like a great little session in. Yeah. Where you're pumping your lactic, like you're feeling it, you're panting like a dog. Like it's, keep you in good stead.
Or the way up.
Yeah, well that can also be used, like the big fat steep hill. You could do that in one go, like what we did this morning, a bit easier, or you can pump reps up and down it if you really want to get the heart rate up. It's all about changing up the variables in your training so that your body adapts to that. So that's like the main reason behind the easy, medium, hard.
We ran up the driveway here, down from the road, which is kind of a back road, but there's a concrete asphalt path up here. We went to the water hole, kind of our own little private water hole. These massive stones that the Romans or someone put there a long time ago.
Yeah.
We went and ran to that this morning, had a swim, and then when we came back, Giles was like, unbroken up the hill. It took us like 4 minutes to get up the hill.
Yeah.
What distance do you reckon that is?
I think it's 400.
Yeah, 400 metres.
Or a bit over, a bit over 400 metres.
It's a decent, what vertical?
80, I think.
Yeah.
70, 80, yeah.
Yeah. So if you're going to do that whole thing, like that gives people an idea at least at what it is, in detail. Would you do reps of that, or would you do parts of it as in intervals, like 1 minute bursts on the 5 minutes, or?
I mean, it depends on the person's level.
Yeah.
Like if you're starting off, you'd want to do like 100 meters, walk back down, 100 meters, walk back down.
Yeah.
If you're more advanced, like
I'm talking about more so like when, like say it's me, because then it makes it concrete. If you're saying, I want you to be able to run this track, do a lap, rest for 5 minutes, do a lap again.
Yeah.
You kind of know what the time that takes now. At what point we'd be like, okay, yeah, he's kind of a runner now, like he's not going to
time-wise.
burn. Yeah.
I don't know, because I haven't done it myself, so I don't.
Well, you were running them in.
Yeah, but that was like
7.5.
that was easy, steady stuff.
Yeah, you run it
We
continuous.
haven't knocked out like a proper
time trial.
like a tempo.
Grab your shoes before you jump in the car.
Go and test it all out now.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, we're getting an idea. So if we're able to hit that 30, 40 Ks relatively continuous, nose breathing, and be able to handle a lot of time on feet, and then getting some decent quality hills, and then that's putting us in a position. What else?
Yeah, another thing just came to mind. So backing that 30 to 40K up with something longer immediately after.
Yeah, like
so
the next day or the...
Like the next day. Yeah. Like ideally, the way I like to structure my training is like on my peak week, so the biggest runs going into a long 100K plus in one go, I'll do like a 30, 40K in the late afternoon of like a Saturday, and then I'll go out on Sunday morning early and back that up. So it's like you get your sleep, you get like a good amount of food, nutrition, nutrients into your body, and then you back it up again. And it's kind of somewhat simulating that extended period, like time on feet, running, etc. But with that break in between to like not cook yourself. Yeah.
What roughly might you do on the Sunday then? 10 Ks,
I mean, I've backed it. It depends. Like
same 30K.
Yeah, like if you do a 30 on Saturday, backing it up with like something in the 20s would be good.
Yeah.
Like that keeps you in really good stead. But also, like if you're cooked after the 30 or 40 on the first day, that's a good sign that like you need to reassess and probably go back to the drawing board. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good. That gives us some good targets. As far as the gym side of things, like what's that done for your running to actually build in the gym as well?
Yeah, I mean, like I used to get absolutely flogged on the downhills, for example, like where my quads just wouldn't be strong enough. The tendons in my knees would be really aggravated. I've done heaps of long range, like split squats, RDLs, nailing the basics, and it carries over in a way that like it's super powerful. And it's so basic, like it's just creating like a strong, resilient body that is able to withstand like that constant high impact, repetitive, short range movement. And it's something that a lot of people, like everyone kind of knows in the running community that you need to strength train, but I feel like 90% of people don't actually do it properly or don't prioritize it enough. People just kind of go through the motions, jump on the leg press, do some calf raises, and like, I'm sweet. I'll be able to run that 100 miler or whatever. So for me, like it's completely changed. Like I used to be 78 kilos. I'm 92 currently. I'm definitely not as quick as I used to be, but like in terms of handling a long distance, like my body feels way more strong and resilient. It makes a huge difference.
Yep. And then in terms of the nutrition, like, do you have to eat a lot more?
That's half of the game of like going a long way. You just need to stay on top of your calories. You need to be stuffing your face essentially. Like a lot of people
during the long stuff.
During the like that's the biggest mistake people make when it comes to like actually finishing and not feeling like a piece of shit when you finish. It's staying on top of your calories, making sure you're eating well, you're drinking well, you're staying hydrated, using electrolytes in your water, not just drinking water. And same goes for like long training runs, like what you did the other day. Like if one of my clients did that, like I'd be like, you're a fucking idiot. But because you're Keegan Smith, you obviously get away with it. Because it compromises your recovery. Like your body goes like, what the fuck's going on here? Like I need nutrients. But more so with the long stuff, like shorter stuff, you can get away with it. It's good for you. Like you'll tap into the fat adaptations as well, which is good.
Are you trying to go like isocaloric? Like are you trying to have as many calories as you're burning roughly, or
you just it's hard to do
hard
that.
to do that, but
it's just under. It's kind of like as many calories as your body can properly digest. I try and aim for like 60 to 70 grams of carbs per hour when I'm racing. And anything over 6 hours, like you need to start taking like protein and fats rather. Yeah.
So we want to get some other people into this world. What's the opportunity if someone's watching this and thinking like, yeah, okay, I'm interested in giving it a crack? What is it that you can offer that person?
I think guidance more than anything.
Yeah.
Like holding your hand, like telling you, like, here are the necessary steps. Let me show you. Come with me. Do it with me.
Yeah.
Like I've run over 25 ultra marathons successfully. I've never pulled out of one. I've got a bunch of clients at the moment that I'm helping run long distances. I guess it's the knowledge, the experience, like just under 10 years of running. It's also like I'm doing things differently compared to the normal endurance training paradigm. So, which is, I don't know, maybe we've spoken about this, but the traditional paradigm is 80% volume, 20% high intensity work, whereas I've kind of inverted it. It somewhat happened organically for me, like not on purpose, which is why like I look the way I am. Like I'm stronger than the average ultra runner. So that's prioritizing. So my method basically prioritizes technique, strength, speed, and power. And once we get that down pat, once that 80% is like ticked off successfully, then we can start implementing a little bit of volume and doing those longer 30, 40K runs that we've spoken about, versus the traditional paradigm is like, we'll start at 40K a week, we'll go up 10% every 3 weeks, then we'll do a deload on the 4th week, and you keep on doing that, and it keeps on going up and up. And like, look, in the short term, it works, you'll feel great. In the mid to long term, it doesn't work. Like it injures people, it leaves people fatigued, it leaves people pissed off with the training because it's like monotonous. You're just constantly on these easy, long, slow runs in the same areas. So, yeah, that's the long-winded answer.
That's cool, yeah. And I'm excited to actually go run some stuff together. Having that adventure of, all right, we're going to go to this place, we're going to go, whether we're carrying stuff and camping out in between or just doing, I think it's a really strong kind of bonding thing. Even this morning, like, it wasn't about distance, but it's nice to be able to get out, run, do some backflips into the water, swim, breath work, run back.
It's the reason run clubs have popped. Like, it's not the running itself, it's like the community, the connection that you feel with those around you.
Yeah. So what might be some of the run experiences, run camp that you've experienced having this place here, and guiding people through getting started running? Like, what do you got in mind as far as some running adventures over the next couple of years?
Yeah, so helping people do the Bondi to Manly, which is like on my doorstep in Sydney. I've done it. I ran the out and back, so it's 80 kilometers one way. I did the out and back loop and chased the record and ended up getting it because I had a great day. So that was 152 Ks. There's an ultra race as well. This is another thing. I'm chatting to them in 2 weeks' time. I'm trying to organise something with like the people on the wait list, which will be interesting. Anyway, yeah, like a 3 to 4 day training camp where like we go over the fundamentals of like lifting, running technique, cadence, all that kind of stuff, my training methodology versus the traditional, and then the idea would be like to push each other's boundaries in terms of like going out and running something and getting a bit uncomfortable, but knowing that you're doing it with other like-minded cool people. Costa Rica as well will hopefully have some sort of, I'm starting to think that maybe the 200 kilometers that I run, it could be a good opportunity for like you and some other guys to run the like 100 Ks of that with me, potentially. Yeah. Something to talk about. Yeah.
Cool. Also, we discussed a little bit of like having that mastermind on your side of people who specialize in blood work or certain areas of strength training, or like that's an exciting part of this as well, to be able to know that you've got other guys on your team that can support if there's different areas that need to be worked on. So that'll be part of what you can offer as well, of how you have a consult with this guy.
Sure. Getting other practitioners involved. Yeah.
Very cool. Anything else you want to share about the journey here? Holistic Hybrid came alive. This is where it was born.
No, it was born here in Montenegro, really. Keegan and everyone else flipped my world upside down in the best kind of way. Threw me under the bus big time. I keep on saying that.
Giles didn't really know exactly what was coming, but he impromptu started the journey here to run this lap. We just cut the track a couple of days before, and then we put it to use with the men here. But it went really well. You can see that the energy and just those little technique tips. People running smoothly. No one was complaining about feet or shins. Or a few guys were saying like normally my shins would be blown up, normally my knees would be blown up, and they were fine. So it's good start. And for anyone out there needing to get in action, launch their thing, this is another example of it. Get started, get it buzzing. I'd love to have a group of us that go on this journey. I don't know if I'm going to be able to run 100 kilometers this year, like it's the plan. But the fun is in moving towards that and seeing what happens and seeing how it all fits together. I actually think it is going to help some of my other goals. But we'll see, and I'll learn in the process. So if people want to learn more about it, maybe see where they're at, what's the best step, book a strategy session, or
just book a call. Holistic Hybrids, the IG handle. Shoot me a message and we'll tee something up. Happy to help with anything.
Let's get running.
Let's get running.
Sweet. Thanks, brother. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, Keegs.